Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of WigginOutBZ, hosted by me, Bernadette Housedown. So this week I'm going to show you guys how to do a wig stack without using a bump. So I know this looks like just one wig, it's just really full, but this is actually two wigs stacked together. I've been getting asked a lot of questions lately about how to stack wigs without a bump or how to sew wigs together permanently. So I figured I would do a quick little tutorial and show you guys how I stack my two wigs together without a bump, anything in between. Now, I personally don't sew my wigs together because I like to use my wig stock as theatrical stock as well, in addition to my drag wigs. So I've just learned from experience in the past that if I sew wigs together or if I sew a whole bunch of hair into my wigs, I'm eventually going to have to take it out for something. So I figured it's just easier for me to use clip-in extensions and to do stacks, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many wigs I feel like wearing, then I don't care. So yeah, so if you guys want to know how I did this cute little do, stay tuned. As you can see, this is a little different. And what happened was I hung a curtain across the front of my little alcove area where all my wig stuff is. So this is the same area where I've been shooting for the past couple months, but it's just seeing it another way, and then my messy apartment is through there, but it's dark so you can't see. So lovely, like a lovely little shadow going on behind me, and it's cute. I really haven't gotten comments about it, but I've gone back and watched and just found that so many of my videos are just so dark. And the reason for that is a lot of times, especially if I'm getting ready in drag, I'm not making a video until about 11 or so at night. And other times I come home after a long day and I need to comb out a wig and make a video, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning and it's dark. So I figured that if I put a curtain and had some lights coming on me this way and making a great shadow in the back, that you guys would be able to see a little better. I do have a tutorial I made a few months ago of me with a lace front, a bump, and then a ponytail wig over top of that, but I've been getting asked questions about how to sew together two wigs and how to stack just two wigs without a bump. So considering I'm going out again tomorrow night and I had to prep my hair and I was double stacking a wig, I figured I'd show you guys how to do it. So the first thing you're going to need to stack two wigs together is two wigs. They're both a Sepia Holiday in the T33/130, except one of them, this one, I added my own lace front to, and then the other one, I cut the hairline back all the way. You can use two regular lace fronts. You can do two hard fronts with this method. Putting a hard front over a lace front, or a ponytail fall over a lace front, or over a rooted front, or something like that. This technique works for everything. You will need 3/4 inch hairpins and 3-inch French hairpins, which look like that. And I like the ones without the ball tips, especially if you're dealing with lace wigs. You don't want either of them to have ball tips because they're so big they can rip your lace, they'll tear your lace. And I understand that like the ball tips make it so it doesn't scratch your scalp, and these have a tendency to scratch your scalp, but it's practice, and just kind of go in there and try not to hit your scalp. And if you do hit your scalp, you know it's going in there right. So but it does take practice, but I find that the ball tips just tear apart lace fronts, especially full lace wigs. Sticking bobby pins through the foundation and using big pins with ball tips on the ends is horrible for the foundation of a wig. So I always use the ones without the ball tips. Brush and comb of your choice, hairspray of your choice, and clippies, and some clear hair elastics. Now, I use clear hair elastics. You can use a hair tie. You can just kind of twist it and bobby pin it. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Do it your way. Okay, so as you can see, I just set her on some hot rollers and I took it out. I used medium hot rollers, and I set the whole thing with a side part, and I set the front diagonally, and then I set the back vertically so that I got a hanging curl and not a big bouncy curl. I was originally going for, I wanted to do like a Wendy Williams kind of thing, like a big sexy long blowout, but I forgot to wet set her, and my hot rollers that are that big, I don't have many of, so I kind of was like, so I'll have some curly hair. It's going to be fine. So if you set your wig like I did, you just want to brush it really quick. She needs to stay on this head. She keeps spinning around. So you want to brush your wig thoroughly first. Also set the top wig as well to match. Oh, you guys can see that. That's amazing. Okay, so if you roller set your wigs like I did, you want to thoroughly block, you want to make sure you securely block them down. Since this is a lace front, I did block her down with bias tape. For more information on how I did that, the video is right here. And for my other wig, I just used my big pins as usual to block her down with. So first things first, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your top wig is unblocked and you have all of the pins out of it. Now, I didn't use a crap ton of pins to pin this down, only like 5 or so. And if a wig, since this wig's basically a hard front because I cut the lace back so short, when you block a hard front, you really just want to do anchor in the center, the sides, and in the back. And sometimes if the wig's too big for the block, or if I'm trying to stretch it, I'll also pin at the temple, and I'll also take the side panels and pull them in as far as I can and pin them there. So push her out of the way for now. Okay, so since she was freshly set, I do have a little bit of a line of demarcation in the front part right here you can see, and that's just from my rollers. But it's actually going to come in handy today for this demo. So what you want to do is you want to take that front part of the hair, pretty much the first 2 inches or so of your base wig, and you want to take that and you want to clip it out of the way like this. And you want to do the same thing on the opposite side. Take that front like 2 inches. And sometimes I use a pin for this since I only grabbed 1 clip. Oops. To the side. So now what you're going to do is you can just put your wig on top of this as is. You can just put your second wig on top. However, I find that if I do that, especially if I'm using the hairpin method, which I'm showing you guys right now, I find that the hair that's right here on the base wig falls forward into the front of it, and it just looks a little muddy for me personally. So this is how I quickly solve that. I take a little thin sliver of hair right behind where my section was. I don't go all the way up because that hair doesn't really matter. What you basically want to do is you want to take the hair from directly behind right here, just a very thin, it's a very, very thin slice right here, ladies and gentlemen, you can see. You just want to take that hair straight back, and you want to fasten it with a ponytail in the center with the opposite side. So again, take a thin sliver of hair from right behind the section you pinned forward. And you just want to take your hair ties and you just want to fasten them. And I like to leave mine loose since I have a really big head. I can see it just kind of barricades the base wig's hair from falling all the way forward. And don't worry, it won't. You'll put the other wig on top of this and it will camouflage all of that. So now that you have your first wig prepped to take on the second wig, you want to take your second wig off the block, and my wig has a side part. Since this is the sepia, since this was built on the sepia holiday, it has a side part built into it. So I usually use that to line up my wig when I stack it on top. And literally all you're doing is you're stacking the wig on top. If there are tabs in the back of your wig, such as these elastic guys here, personally I don't tighten them. Because when I pin my wig on my head, I like to be able to grab the foundation of my top wig and anchor it down. You take those tabs and make them tight, it might not go on. It might be tight enough for your head, but it'll be too tight with your head and a wig underneath it. So I always just take them out, but it's all personal preference. And usually what I do is I just leave them in the little channel on either side and then they don't pop out. So you just want to put your wig straight on top and you want to make sure that it's just stacked on top of your second wig. So you can see already how much extra hair this is. And then what you want to do is while you're holding the top, you just want to pull the back down. Now you're not trying to get the back down all the way into place on the bottom because it won't reach because it's over top of an existing wig. But you want to get it down to a place where the wig is sitting flatly on the head. Okay, so now that I have my second wig on top, I went ahead and just moved closer to the camera so you guys can see. I'm getting myself a digital record. I'm going to buy myself a digital camcorder for my birthday since my birthday is the end of this month, but I haven't obviously bought it yet because I... So what you want to do is you want to line it up, and basically what you're doing is you're lining up the foundation, the corner ear tabs of this wig, you're lining them up to what would be right here on your head. So you're basically putting this wig on like a 3/4 fall or a half wig on top of your existing wig. So you don't want to put it all the way to the hairline, and you don't want to have it too far back. You want to have it sit where a 3/4 wig or like a headband would fit. Now, sometimes I'll stack the wigs on my head as I'm putting them on, but for something like this that's going to be more coiffed and stuff like that, I stack it on the block so then I can style it and just take it off in one big piece and put it on my head. So now that you have your wig lined up in the correct places, you want to take 2 of the 3-inch hairpins like I showed you guys earlier, and you want to go into the corner ear tab of... You want to go into the corner ear tab right here of your top wig, and you want to go into the ear tab, the back of the ear tab on your base wig, and you just want to pin straight up like this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to pull the front a little more forward because they always slide back. You're going to pull the front a little more forward, and you're going to do the same thing through the where your temple area is, and then you're going to pin that down. And basically what that's doing is you're locking in those 2 hairpins like this, and that's, you can see I'm pulling it and it's not, I mean, the front's rolling up because it's lace on it, but it's not, I'm pulling this and it's not going anywhere. So you want to do the same thing on the opposite side. Again, find your ear tab, you want to stretch it forward. And then you can probably see this side of the ear tab better because the light is right here. Get in there. Sometimes you'll have trouble getting a hairpin into the ear tabs. That's what happens when a wig is new. So as you can see here, the pin is through the ear tab of the wig. So you want to pull it forward again, and you want to pin it. You want to pin it going straight up. And then you want to take your other pin right at your temple area, and you want to go, always make sure you go through both wigs. And then you want to pin down and through. So that's on there secure enough, but I usually go and take it one step ahead, and since this wig has a lace part in it, I use the little hairpins for this, and I pull that forward, and I basically pin, just going again, and then I take, you can see this is the top wig and this is my base wig. I will tug this hair forward a little bit because it'll still have some give, and I put a small hairpin through the top wig. You're going to take your hairpin through that front lace bit in the part, and I like to just pin that down in right where you can see this is the edge of my wig, and then this is the lace front underneath. And since they're the exact same wig, they both have that little lace round right there. So I basically took the front hairline part of the top wig, and I pinned it with a small hairpin to the back portion of the parting on the bottom wig, just to lock it in place in the center. And also usually after I do that, I usually go through and I usually pin down on either side of that as well, just to make sure that that wig is securely, just to make sure that the wig is securely on the head. So now that you have it pinned together, you take your clips out of the back and you take your clips out of the front. If I can find it, it's over here. You take your pins out of the back, you take your pins out of the front, and then you brush it together to smooth it. Now that I have it thoroughly brushed together, you can see that there's no line of demarcation. You can't see where the top wig starts and the bottom wig ends. It's just a perfect smooth transition. So since I want a little more drama in the front of this wig, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tease the bangs a little bit on both sides. And I'm just going in there with my brush because I don't need it to be a crazy strong heavy tease. I just want a little bit of one so that it gives me a little more oomph in the front. And I also, when I styled the top wig, I put, because when I roller set this, I roller set it because I knew I wanted the front to wave and do a bang. When I did the top wig, I put one roller right in the front, the exact same size and position as the bangs, so that when you brush it together, you're brushing together both wigs into one big piece and you'll never see the line. Spray with hairspray. Okay. So since this wig already has so much hair in it, I'm only really going to tease the bangs out because I want the rest of it to have a nice flowy bounce to it, because I want it to look sort of like a Jessica Rabbit meets Wendy Williams kind of thing. I am going to tease a little bit of this other side though, just at the root on the top 2 inches or so, just so that I can match my lift from the other side. And also it helps you get rid of roller marks if you have them. Okay, so I just teased a little bit in the front, so now I'm just going to brush her smooth. And I'm not sure if I've mentioned in my other videos about teasing, because that was a while ago. When you tease and you are brushing it smooth, you always want to start with the brush. You always want to start with the brush just gently grazing the hair, because you don't want to brush all that teasing out, because you need that cushion underneath to support your style. And if you brush it too hard at first, you're going to knock all that out. So as you can see, I have a cute little Jessica Rabbit wave now. And I've gotten asked a lot about how to do those, and so I guess I can kind of show you guys easily how to do it right now. You want to make sure your rollers all go this way, or all go diagonally back this way, but they have to line up and they have to be of even sections. And basically all I do is I just tease the root like I showed you guys, and I comb it under my hand, and then as you comb it, you kind of just release it like that, and it will naturally fall into a wave. And then you kind of go in with a comb and a clip, and you kind of just clip it and maneuver it to where you want it to go, and then spray it for Jesus. So here she is all done. You guys did see her in the beginning, but now that you saw how I went about doing it, you guys can appreciate it a little better. I did kind of sculpt this wave into place with some of my Pump It Up spritz, and then I put some bobby pins in it in here. They're brown and they're matte, so you probably will not be able to see them, but trust me, they're there. I can feel one right there. There we go. So I have them in there just to hold this piece of hair off my face, so it's not just like hanging in my face, because that don't look cute. So yeah, this is her. And I've been getting asked a lot. Like I said at the beginning, I've been getting asked a lot about stacking without a bump, so I figured I would do a little quick tutorial on that. Thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate all your comments and emails and everything telling me that you love what I do and you love the fact that I'm here for you guys. And I love the fact that you love the fact that I'm here for you. If that makes any sense at all, I don't know. So thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate all of it and the love and everything. Be sure to check out all my fun social media stuff down in the box below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.